guys, and welcome back to Watercolor Journal Club. This month we are creating portraits in our watercolor journals, and we are just about to wrap up week 2 Picasso style art, and we had an awesome guest artist that taught us how to roll a Picasso. So if you haven't seen that video, check down in the details, and I have put the link in. Her name is MARCI, and she is awesome. She has her own channel with lots of cool crafting stuff. So for this challenge, I struggled a little bit because Picasso, he draws so differently and he doesn't draw exactly what he sees. So at the beginning of the clip, as you saw, I pulled up some of his art and I was really looking at his line art and some of his watercolors. So I suggest maybe doing the same if you're struggling to have some inspiration. I looked and I found things I liked. I like how he did the little swirls in the hair and things like that. So I went with that. And then I liked his more realistic portraits. And then he has his really fun, funky ones, which I will try. I just didn't do that for this video since MARCI did one of those with the roll to Picasso. So I'm going to try one of those. That'll be a big, big challenge for me because I'm always trying to draw very realistically. So I'm going to have to really go out of the box for that one. But I'm excited to try it. I thought this was so much fun doing this because it was just like playing. You know, I wasn't expecting like a perfected outcome, I guess. So it was a lot of fun to just simplify the portrait. And as you saw in the beginning, I had pulled up some portraits too and just looked at those and used them as reference for angles and things. And because I know Picasso, he would actually have a model and he would draw those. So just a lot of fun and a good exercise to simplify things. So I was just having a lot of fun, and I wanted to do watercolor with it. So I know a lot of his drawings were the just a line, like a black pen or a black marker. And I wanted to add watercolor, so I did look up his watercolors, which were really fun to see too. So just mixed the two together and had a lot of fun painting these pages. Again, it was a bit of a challenge. And for those of you that are new here, I would love it if you like and subscribe to my channel. I also have Watercolor Journal Club. If you go to that hashtag on Instagram, you can join us. I put up a challenge every month, and we have weekly prompts where we're filling little watercolor journals. I also have a video that I'll put down below in the videos where you can click on that, and the link to how to create a watercolor journal. And so far we did watercolors in June, which you could still go back and do that if you like. And then we have watercolor portraits in July, and I have the prompt list over on Instagram as well. So we still have 2 more weeks to go on that. I have another wonderful guest artist for you all for Frida Week. So that will be coming up. I will post that late tomorrow evening, so you can look for that to get started on Frida Week as you wrap up Picasso Week. And once again, all entries, if you tag me or put the hashtag Watercolor Journal Club or Watercolor Portraits in July, everything under that hashtag that you guys have created for the challenge is entered to win a journal. I'm doing 1 journal this time. Last time I did 1 a week. They were smaller ones. I'm going to do a bit of a bigger one with more pages. So there'll be 1 winner. Depending if there's a lot of entries, I'll do 2. But we have a lot of fun portraits over there under the hashtag right now if you want to check that out. And it's free to join. Just join in anytime. I have a tutorial every week, and I've been getting some lovely guest artists this month. So lots of fun. Not sure what we're going to do in August yet, but I will let you know as we near the end of July. So we have a lot of fun upcoming challenges here in July still. So we have Picasso Week wrapping up. Then we're going to have Frida Week, and then we're going to do a Draw This in Your Style challenge. So lots of fun. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to seeing all your portraits. I'd like to talk a little bit more about Picasso and some of the techniques I'm using here, and like a little tutorial version here. So I did notice in almost all his watercolors for portraits and his drawings, of course, he uses outlines heavily. He did some really cool things with cubism, which I'd like to try, where I would like to do like this style, but then just shift things a little bit, not as probably as brave as he was. He was very daring, but I like to do something simplified and just more subtle like that. I think that'd be fun to try, so I may do one of those. And then at the end of the challenge, again, we'll do our journal flip. So I'll have some in there that I didn't show already probably, and I'll show some more Picasso ones. So anyway, just looking at his style and everything, you know, he has a lot of cubism. He has very simple shapes, so I was keeping all that in mind. He does draw things kind of like the symbol of what you would think it was. So like lips, I mean, just a very basic shape. I did look at the portraits I was drawing, and I did model the shape of the portrait I was looking at. I didn't just go totally simple with the lips, and I think he, to an extent, probably was taking defining characteristics from his subject and getting them in there. But like, if you notice his eyes, they're very much like an almond shape, and he really draws the eyelid in there, not using shading so much as just using line work. So this was really, like I said, a really good challenge to try to simplify things and just see some basic shapes and then have some fun, like, and get some expressive line work in there. Like, I thought the hair was one of the funnest things, because you'd see the shape of the hair and you just kind of have that in mind, but then you could go in and do those swirls or the scribbles and stuff. So again, if you take a look at his work, it's really cool to look at all those portraits. I had no idea that he had done so many portraits that were just line work, so that was really neat to see. And I have a lot of his drawings of animals, but I hadn't seen a lot of the people ones. And he had a really cool one with a lady and a dove up by her head, which I thought was really neat. So I may try to do something like that as well. I thought it was fun. It's just so minimal, and it is expressive though. So I really enjoyed this challenge, and I'm glad that to do it. So we are pushing ourselves to do something out of our comfort zone. It's just so much fun. So I'm creating this one. I did go in with some skin tones. I thought that'd be fun. I didn't want to leave it too much black and white because, again, it's a watercolor journal. I wanted to use watercolor. So I did that. And I think the more you do of these, the more you probably, like anything, develop a style, and you start to find things you really like and things you don't like, and keep going with that. Like, I enjoyed doing the background with a little bit of shape in there on the right-hand side. I liked that. The one on the left is something that, like, I always do. But and then I also did, ahead of time, create myself a basic palette of colors. So if you look at his work, he only using a couple colors, usually maybe 3, 4 at the most, in his watercolor ones. So I wanted to use some fairly bold colors, rich colors, and so I just selected those ahead of time and just picked colors I liked. And I wanted some of them to be kind of muted, not everything too bright. So I did that. And then again, if you haven't seen my video on mixing skin tones, I will link that below as well. You can go to that, and it talks about how to do skin tones. I wish I would have done something a little more varied here, but that's okay. Maybe on another one I will. I noticed his portraits didn't seem to be very varied in race and ethnicity and whatnot, and I thought it would be fun to, while I was doing that, I was using those portraits. I think I had an Indian woman and an Asian woman on there as well that I drew. So on the next page, I drew the Asian woman, but I noticed his didn't look very ethnic, or, you know, they all look Caucasian. I don't know if that's true or what, but I think it would be fun to use this and try to bring those things out in the portrait, but keep it simple. I think that'd be a wonderful challenge. And so I'm going to try some more of that. I think I was already overwhelmed by this challenge, so I didn't go totally away from what he did. So I think that would be fun, and that's something I will explore, and I challenge you to as well. I think that would be a lot of fun. So just going in and outlining. So I love this brush. It has a great fine tip, and I will put that down below as well. It's a travel brush, actually, so it folds up and it gets real tiny, but it's lots of fun. And I liked it for getting that line work. I feel like this line work's a little bit more expressive than his. Maybe his was very perfect. He might have been using a marker. So I do like the variation in the lines that you get with the brush. I don't know what he used on those. It does, like I said, it does look like a marker or something. But so this was fun. I liked doing that, and you get some thin lines, some lighter lines, some broken up lines. I liked that. So that would be something that I would continue to explore. So again, you're always adding a bit of yourself, even though you're trying to take inspiration from another artist. So that's something that as artists we should always be doing, and it helps us grow. and you start to find, that's part of even finding your style more and more and more. The more you look at different art and the more you pull things that you like, that's just gives you more tools to express yourself. So I highly recommend doing these kind of challenges. And again, if you are new here or you don't follow over on Instagram, I'm over on Instagram, and I'll put all my contact information down below so you can come find me. I have Watercolor Journal Club. We have a good group of people. It's a fun community. Everybody posting and filling up watercolor journals, and we're having lots of fun with that. And again, this month is Portrait Month, and I have up each week prompt list. You can start anytime and start posting, and you will be entered to win a watercolor journal. And if you want to see some of my watercolor journals, I have them over on my Instagram feed as well. It will be one of the thicker ones that does not have a cover is what I'm giving away this time. And once again, I'll probably do one. If I start to get a ton of entries, I will up it to 2 that I'll give away. But it's tons of fun. And if you want to know, I use Arches paper in the watercolor journals. I love Arches paper. It's cold press is what I've been using for the challenge so far. I do like, and I actually have a video up on the different types of paper. I like hot press, I like cold press, and I like rough paper, all for different reasons. And I discussed that in another video that I'll also link if you're curious about that. But I do love Arches. I'm going to, you can look for a comparison video soon. I'm going to compare a few brands that I love and to show you the differences. It can be a hard choice sometimes. There's so many good papers out there. But anyway, I look forward to seeing your portraits. Have so much fun with this in the style of Picasso. It was a blast. And look forward to a guest artist next week for the Frida prompt. And that will actually be up a little bit before this week is over so that you can get ideas and get inspired and get motivated on that. So love it if you'd like and subscribe, comment below, come over and see me over on Instagram, join the fun. Have a great day and happy painting.